Good morning, everyone, and especially good morning to you, my friend. Neil Roth, I'm so excited. I met you a few years ago, and oh my goodness, you've done a lot in your life. And one of the things that comes to mind when I meet people that are, I would say, super achievers, any of us, when things change, something happens. And I think we can look back in moments in our life where this focal point, where all of a sudden a decision was made or something happened where our whole life went a different direction. You've had quite a few of those, and I was wondering, just to change your idea a little bit, how you present. Would you just look at those defining moments in your life and just take us along through your life and how we came here, which I believe you are just immensely prepared, all of the things that you've done to have the best is yet to come. I look at where we are. I'm a couple of years older than you, I believe. And for me and you, I believe the 70s, that's going to be the best decade ever as far as just making a difference, having fun, and just having impact on the world. Neil Roth, let's hear your story.
Oh, okay. First of all, it is true now that the 70s are the new 50s. I don't feel any older than that. It's funny. My sister and I were talking the other day. She's a couple of years older than me. And she says to me, "Go, you get here because it's been a long time." Listen, there are moments in your life that change your path. When I was a kid growing up, my path was to become an astronaut. That's really what I wanted to do. And I went off to school for that. I went to West Point with the hopes of being an astronaut. And then I wrecked my knee while I was there. And they told me, oh, no, you can't get into that program. After I left there, I guess the real opening the door to what's going on today was when I realized that going to school, I had to support myself. We didn't have any of those things, debt. There was no debt availability, so to speak. So I went to work in the supermarkets. And that's when I fell in love with consumers and retail. And I was on the path, even after the astronaut, to be a nuclear physicist or a mathematician or something like that. And yet I just fell in love with dealing with people. And I fell in love with products and understanding what products are and why they do that. And I got involved in about a year and a half later. I was working my butt off, but I was actually getting nice promotions even at 19. I was 19 years old. By the time I was 20, I was already an assistant store manager in a supermarket, which in those days was a big deal. Most of them were people my age now. So I was doing well, but that's when I discovered the old saying, it's great to work hard, but it's better to work hard in a growth environment. And supermarkets were not a growth environment. They were not growing as rapidly as other businesses. And I discovered the retail drugstore business, specifically Rite Aid. I saw an ad in the paper. There's a little tiny ad. So you go figure that's fate somehow, because why would that catch my eye? Because I wasn't looking for a job. I was just like going through the paper and all of a sudden this thing popped up. And I went to work for them. And that was a real growth environment. They had like 200 stores that were opening up stores like every week. And so they were constantly looking for people to grow. And they were a little bit ahead. So they actually gave us IQ tests, trying to find people they can grow with. So I was lucky because I give me a math test, you're in danger. I just love math. Okay. To this day, I give my kids, I said, you take out your calculator and I'll multiply in my head, see who wins. Because that's the way we learned when we were kids. We learned to do it in our heads. I grew rapidly in that industry, kept being asked to move places, and do I want to take a promotion, but you have to move here. At one point at Rite Aid, I was a store manager in Manhattan. The last store I was running was in Manhattan. And then they asked me to go to Fishkill, New York, which was up near Newburgh. 4 months later, they said, would you come back and be the district manager on Long Island? 6 months later, they said, well, you go to Harrisburg and be a buyer. And I just said, why not? Yes, let's do it. Because I kept trying to grow. And then I got recruited by other companies. I got to leave Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and go to Florida. That's a pretty good gig with a big raise and a nice promotion. And so by the time I was 31, as you've heard me say before, I was lucky enough to be president of a $100 million company, probably the youngest president in the industry ever. That wasn't related. So there's a lot of people that are related. It made me grow. Okay. Made me understand. But I never turned down anything. And what I learned along the way was no matter what you're doing, you're just putting one foot in front of the other and just keep walking. You just keep going and you keep learning. And you can never say, I don't know how to do that. I say, I'm going to learn to do that. And that's occurred throughout my career. Even to the point as we move forward, I was the executive vice president of companies up to $2.5 billion. And the fact remains is you learn to how to deal with people, you learn how to manage people, you learn to, as everybody kids, you learn to say no, you learn to say yes. Okay. And your decisions have to be good. Unlike a baseball player who gets paid $22 million to hit 275, as an executive in a company, you better hit 80 or 90%, 800 or 900. Nobody's going to be perfect. And if you are perfect, it means that you're not pushing it enough. You know what I mean? You're not trying to make it better, because if you're trying to make it better, sometimes you're going to make decisions that don't work out well. And how you handle those decisions is another thing that you have to learn how to do. If something goes wrong, you don't throw your hands up in the air and say, that's it, I'm done. You say, okay, what are we going to do to fix it and actually make it better than it was going to be? And that's what we try to do. And that's what I try to do here in our company. We don't make all the right decisions. There's just no way you can make all the right decisions. But when we have a problem, as they get fixed pretty quickly. Okay, because we understand the value of the distributive force and how we have to back the distributive force. So we go out and we fix what the problems are. You know, it's like now, can I talk a little bit about what's going on now, Dave?
Well, let's do it. You bet.
Okay, so for example, we've spent 6 months putting together this program. We've tested the heck out of it, and it still didn't work the way we wanted it to work. Okay, but those things are being fixed. It's been a week and a half, and I can tell you, for example, sometime today, edit auto ships will be available because I finished testing it last night, and they got to go through the mechanics of putting it on. So you'll be able to go in and edit an auto ship instead of having to delete it. Okay. We have a search button that doesn't work. We know it's working right now. There's a process to get it on board onto the website, but it's going to happen this weekend, probably Monday, the latest. We've had meetings with the executive committee of the distributors, Dave and a bunch of the diamonds, some other people, and they've requested certain things, and those things are all being worked on. They'll all get done. This is going to be the best website you've ever seen once we're all completed with it. And it'll work exactly the way we need it to work. And it'll do what we have to help people get involved in our business correctly. And at the same time, understand more about our products. One of the advantages we have in this new website, and you don't see it because we didn't change a lot. There's a few things like on the front page has changed and some of the other things changed. But one of the advantages that we have, excuse me, this is called sneeze to the truth.
Bless you.
One of the advantages that we have is that we now have a lot of the code. So we actually will make some amazing changes to the website over the next 6 months that we can do ourselves and not have to wait for somebody else to do. Updating it, making it look better, putting more videos on, doing all kinds of interactive things so that the website will be better from the research angle. It's gonna be incredible as we move forward. The same thing with the app. The app is just about ready to go. Again, the app has been ready for 3 months. We've been testing the heck out of it. And then we turn it on and it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. There's just not much we can do. I can't tell you how much we tested that thing.
Well,
So
there's a whole lot of moving parts in software, that's for sure.
it's just unbelievable. And then you don't realize that an app is not just the app itself and the software in the app. We actually have to deal with the Android situation and the iPhone situation. And you have to like go to each one of them and get approvals to even make a small change. And it's a process. It's just incredible that they make it because they can't work together. They have to be separated. So right now, some of the stuff on iPhone works correct. Some of the stuff on Android works correct, but we got to get it so that they both work correctly together. And that's what we're working on now. I do know that there was an upgrade sent through yesterday that helped a little. I think you're going to see on Monday another one that's going to make it even better. We're working in the right direction. This is just temporary and it's a short term. It's a 2-week period that we're doing this in. When we get to the conference and the summit next week, it'll all be fixed. We won't be worrying about that kind of stuff. We'll be worrying about, oh, wow, how are we going to take this stuff and move forward? Because I have to tell you, I'm so excited about this summit. This is going to be the best summit ever. I know we say that every time, and people say that when they come out of it. Boy, That was the best one yet because we learned from it. We do different things. There's going to be a lot of different things going on in this summit that we didn't do in other ones before. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And yes, there will be two new products. And what's interesting, people don't understand what it takes to make these products. Rick and I are actually, we're already working on the next set, okay? Because that's how long it takes to do these things, and the next set after that. Because we had made a promise to you guys that we're going to have unique products that nobody else can copy, okay? And that even if we come out with a like a cardio product like we did, it's not just everybody else's cardio product. It's like everybody else's five cardio products put together in one with the newest, best, highest, latest scientific research that's put into it. We have to work far out. In the same respect, we have to work pretty close because we want to, when we're finished, we don't want something to have come out 3 months prior that would make it better. So for example, the newest product we're coming out with, we literally just finished, even though we decided 8 months ago this is what we're going to make, we literally just finished the final design of it in the last 8 weeks. Okay, and got it put together and packed, and it's on its way. It's actually on its way now to Las Vegas. If, to try to find products that are going to make a difference in people's lives and not copy what we did already is pretty tough. As we move forward, one of the things that we have a promise to do is that we are going to start improving the products that we started making 3 years ago and 2 years ago. So you may not see a brand new product in the future all the time, but you're always going to see something that's going to make us better. Okay. And we're going to do everything we can to change it up. For example, I think Rick talked about it on my CEO call a little bit. We're expanding the facility by 15,000 square feet. And part of that is we're adding a couple of new lines. One of those lines is what we call a soft gel line. I don't know if you remember, soft gels are like, you ever have a vitamin E? It's a little round pill, oblong thing that you can see through. So we're going to have a line like that. That opens up different kinds of products that we can make. Okay. And then the second one is going to be gummy line. Let's face it, gummies are important in the industry now. It also gives us the ability to make another set of different kind of products that are conducive to being used as a gummy and easy to take. Okay. You're going to see a lot of innovation over the next 18 months in our business in the product area. As far as growth as a business, we're growing consistently every year. Mickey Dillon has been an amazing addition to our business. And he and a group of distributors are creating a new marketing system for you guys. They're going to help you use to grow your business faster, easier, and have a lot of support. So I think you're going to see things over the next 2, 3 months that are going to change that. We hope to have it done for the summit. We weren't able to get it finished because we're not going to put out something that's not complete. But I would say by October, the latest, you're going to have a way to deliver the business to people using our app that's going to make it simpler and help you. Keep it simple, stupid is always the best way to do business because the more complex you make it, the harder it is to do. But this is something anybody can do if they want to. Okay. So I think, Dave, you have another question? I think I answered about 20 questions there.
Oh, you got me all excited and enthused. Is it too late to come to Las Vegas if you're on the fence?
No, absolutely. We still have room. The rooms, we don't have the hotel rooms, but there are hotel rooms available and they're a little bit more. I don't know even know if they're a little bit more. You may be able to get it through like a hotels.com or something cheaper. You know what I mean? And there's other hotels around it. No, it's ready. I have plenty of food, something we're never a dearth of. Great entertainment scheduled for Friday night. I think you guys are going to have a blast on Friday night at the dinner and dancing and stuff. And the amount of information, come with an open mind, clean it out, take the shovel and clean out all the stuff in your head and come in and let us refill it with all good stuff.
I've heard something a long time ago. It's really stuck in my head that not everyone that goes to a convention makes 10,000 a month, but all the people that make 10,000 a month go to conventions. And there's something about inside your head, your heart. Certainly, when you come back from a convention like this, your eyes are shining. Leadership is the enthusiastic communication of your vision. This will be a vision builder for sure. And yeah, this is going to be great.
I agree. Listen, I was a very successful individual in business, but yet I started in 1996 in network marketing and I knew absolutely zero about it. And the first thing I tried to do it was my way, and that flopped. And then I realized I needed to learn it. And I never missed a convention or a regional meeting because I learned, first of all, the average person has to hear something 4 or 5 times before it really takes root in their brain. Okay. So listening to that, the kind of thing we're doing Thursday at the summit next week, the 3 hour training that you guys are going to do, Dave, your group, the diamonds and some of the other people, along with Mickey, that was how I learned the business. Those meetings, that was the most valuable part of anything I've ever done is those training meetings. Because everybody does things, hears things, watches things a little bit differently. And by hearing different people talk about different ways to do the business, I was able to put together a way. Now, it took me 3 years to become a diamond. And then it took me another year to become a triple diamond because once you learn how to do it, then it happens. Okay. But I made enough money to support my family after the first year. But if you're looking to get involved in this and be an instant winner, you're looking at it incorrectly. This is a growth business. I was talking to a guy in the past. I remember talking to this one guy who said, man, he says, I make $120,000 a year. How am I going to do it here? I said, make 10,000 a month could take you 2, 3 years or 4 years, depending on how much labor you put in, how much time you put in. It's a job in the beginning you got to work at. And he says, why would I leave something making $120,000 just to have to build it again? I said, because how many years are you in business? He says, 22 years. I said, so it took 22 years for you to make 120,000. And if you really put your back into it, you may be able to make it in 2 or 3 years. Do you hear yourself? Come on. Nobody says you have to quit your job today, but just learn how to put 10 hours of the week. And then I have people say, I'm so busy, I don't have any time. I said, let's talk about that. Okay. There's 168 hours in a week. Do you realize that's what it is? So if you sleep 8 hours a night, I don't know many people who sleep 8 hours a night, maybe 8 hours, including getting ready for bed and getting ready to go to work. 8 hours. That's 56 hours. You still have 112 hours left. So you go to work. I work 60 hours a week. Great. So now you're down to about 50 something hours. What are you doing with the other 50 hours? Eating dinner? Okay, there's an hour and a half a day. Okay, spending time with the kids? That's great. Could you find 10 hours a week? Or 7 hours a week, even an hour a day? And that extra 50 hours to commit to something that's going to change you and your family's life? Why not? Especially when you have products like we have. Listen, there are companies out there, I get it. They have Me Too products that are being made by other people. They don't have control of their products. I know many of you have been involved in businesses that they had this great product, and then the guy who makes the product says, I don't want to sell it to you anymore. They can't do that here because we make it, we design it, we ship it. We have complete control of it. That's why we can pay you. Also, we pay you. It was interesting because part of the new system is I get industry numbers and compare it to ours. So, for example, the average in the industry, according to this number, is like 32%. And they have our actual for last month, for example, was 47%. That's what we paid you back, 47%. The average in the industry on ships is about 18%. We're averaging 42% of auto ships. Why do our auto ships work? Yeah, we have a good program, but they work because the products work. People want to take the products. The best indication I always say about people wanting to take the products is that you got 100 points or $100. That's the other thing that I think we do right is that we give you $1 a point or a point a dollar, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay, most companies are at 70 or 80%. We're at 100%, except for the activation packs where you get this ridiculous amount of product for it. So when I look at it, our deal says if you want to get paid team commission, you got to do 100 points. And that for most people, right, Dave?
Yes.
So why is our average close to $200 a auto ship? Because the products work. Okay, because people are taking the products. And every time we come out with a product, it goes up because people are not getting rid of a product, they're adding a product. You know what that does for your business? That's why when we come out of the summits, there's a combination of excitement, belief, and drive that drives us on the side of new enrollments and new people coming into business. But our average sale goes up every time because we come out with a product that makes a difference in people's lives that they want to add, not subtract. And that's a big deal. There's when you're trying to grow a business or do anything, the old saying is you got to do two things. You got to do number one, really work on your weaknesses and get better. And number two, increase your strengths. Take advantage of the strengths that you have. And our strength is our products. Okay. And as we continue to come out with products that make it better or improve a product that makes it even better, your business is just going to grow by introducing that. Now, the other point when you say that, because this is like a stream of consciousness you got me going through, Dave. We get numbers on how many people are showing what videos. And it astounds me that 90% of the videos that people show are just on Cell Defender. Now, I love Cell Defender. There's no doubt in my mind that Cell Defender is the best product that was ever created for both health and preventative health, because preventative health is more important in a lot of cases, because you're gonna help more people on a preventative health basis than you are on a trying to help them if they're sick. Let's face it, that's true, because 100% of the people aren't sick, maybe 15 or 20% are. What happened to the other 80%? Don't forget about them. Okay. That's right. Keep putting that in your mouth, Dave, every time you can. Okay. So, not, let me rephrase it. Showing Rick's 18-minute video to people is really important because there's so many things that you don't know what people have a problem with or need or have in their family that they want to control. Now, I know we are meeting beginning of next week. We're going to do some new videos and we're going to try to get that thing down a lot shorter without Rick speaking like in the Alvin Chipmunk voice. But I know we need to get it down, but you have an opportunity to drip on people with that app. And sometimes you send out the Cell Defender and they go, they didn't respond. Well, then send them something on cardio care. Send them something on mind and vision. You don't know what's going to hit their button. Don't make a decision for them. Let them make the decision. Oh, did that answer your question, Dave? I didn't even remember what it was. It was so long ago.
Oh, it's all really good. So that's wonderful. I guess going back to Avini itself, I just think we are really at the right place at the right time. And for all of us that are maybe looking at it at this moment or wherever we are, it's really fun that we actually have our own track record. We're going into our fourth year now. The ideas that we talk about, totally vertical, everything's no debt. But I think one of the most important things is I've personally experienced, you have too, this couplet, the opportunity of a lifetime is only as good as the lifetime of the opportunity. And there's a lot of reasons why companies stay, and there's not too many reasons why they fail. It all comes down to my experience is just being inept or incompetent or not trustworthy. Those are things that have always bothered me. And so often the companies I've been with, it was one or the other or neither that I discovered. And I think that's really an important thing is we really got competent people that have done this and they're trustworthy. And that's in all aspects. And thanks for putting this together. And I know you've experienced not, it's just no fun to give your heart to everything and everything's wonderful. And then all of a sudden the owner gets the steering wheel and goes off into a ditch and we're stuck and it's gone. But
I think that's a big advantage of my being involved and Rick being involved in network marketing for so long. Obviously, Mickey and everybody else involved, because unfortunately, we've seen it all. And to repeat the off-stated statement I make is, it's never the distributors that screw up a company, it's always the owners. So we go out of our way to try not to. And even though sometimes you think we're like, what are they doing? It's really everything. We have a road that we're headed down, and my job is to keep us on that road. Okay. And that road really, we've got a vision for the next 3 years. We're not making a decision today like, I think we need to do something different. It's more like we already have a plan the way it needs to go. On the road up till now, has been organic growth. Okay, meaning that we're using the products to organically grow. We really didn't have, we have Dave and a few other major network marketers, but not a lot. But if you see what I see, there are dramatic changes in that. We have an amazing amount of new network marketers, people who have been successful in other companies, whether it be the mid-level or the high level or whatever it is, moving over and joining our business. So you're going to see a big change. You're going to see a lot of new leaders coming out over the next year. And that's exciting for everybody because, as Mickey liked to say, a rising tide raises all ships. We'll all get better. We'll all get excited. And we will hit what we call momentum. We've had periods of small momentum. Usually after each one of the summits, we have a period of momentum that if people get involved in, by the next one, they've risen a bunch of ranks. But when we hit real momentum, those of you who are getting prepared now, getting to yourself to rubies, getting yourself to emeralds, getting yourself to high sapphires, you're going to blow up. Your business is just going to go crazy. It's going to be one of these. I don't know if you guys realize every order comes in on my phone. So I get a beep every time there's an order. So about 9 o'clock on the last day of the month, it sounds like a machine gun going off because everybody's putting their last minute orders in. And that's what it's going to be like all month long when we hit that momentum. So spending the next 6 months or a year or 3 months, I don't know when it's going to hit because that's the one thing you don't know. It takes one little thing to happen and it just blows up. You've seen it yourself, Dave, in other businesses. Get prepared. Build now. Get your concrete base put into place.
I love that. Math is a fascinating thing, especially when you get into exponential and things like that. And we've all heard this idea of take a penny and double it every day for a month and what happens. And it's the most fascinating thing, one penny, two penny, four penny, eight penny, and so forth. And you think, oh, is this really going anywhere? Because a week into it, you don't even have $2. But by the end of the month, it's millions of dollars. And I like this idea of growth because all along you look at moment by moment, it's the very same math, one penny to two penny. Or if you're a distributor and you're in growth and you've got one distributor and all of a sudden you go into this explosive growth, you're going maybe still pennies because you're still in that early part. But what if you've already got compounded and you've got a couple of thousand distributors and then you use that same math with the growth and now instead of one penny, two penny, it's 1,000, 2,000, or two pennies to four pennies, it's 2,000 to 4,000 distributors. It's the very same math. And so do all you can to get your net wide and big right now. So when the growth happens, you'll be a big part of it.
Well, and I don't know if anybody, people don't realize it. Again, my background is math. Okay. When we created the comp plan, one of the things we wanted to do is make it so that everybody succeeds based upon the work of others. But that work of others is not just downline, it's also upline because by setting up the trinary visual system that we have, guys like Dave and guys like Chris Bruce and Tony and Marcy, well, they're out recruiting all day long. And guess what? The only place they can put them is under you. And I know what they do because they're not stupid. They look at people who are being successful, not necessarily saying, oh, they came in as this month and they made it to Ruby, but people who are actually working, they know who's working. They talk to their downline, to people who are actually working hard, and they'll give them people. So when you get into momentum and all of a sudden that all these people are popping, you're going to turn around and all of a sudden, wow, there's five more people under me. Where the heck did they come from? They came from five different network marketing leaders above you who had to put them someplace and said, this guy deserves it or this gal deserves it because they're working hard. It's the greatest thing in the world. It works both ways. Dave makes more money because you're being successful, and you're being successful because Dave can help you because he's making more money because he's helping you. What a concept, huh?
Oh, I love this collaborative idea where maybe you sponsor a new person, they get the 999, so there's 400 points. And you can think 400's a pretty big deal if you're a new distributor. And if it's a new distributor, say six or seven or eight people down from you, and you put that there, all of a sudden six, seven, eight people get to count that $400. And it's just really cool where lots of people get to count that same volume. It's awesome.
Yeah. And listen, I got to thank everybody that works for me because it's the same way. It sounds like I'm not doing a lot. I'm just telling people what to do. You know what I'm saying? But we've got people like our customer service. We have 3 people in customer service for all these people. And when we hit a period like this week, they're talking to 300 people a day, each of them, trying to help them do what they need to do. Normally, you get a call back in 5 minutes. It may take you a few hours now because we've been trying to help you get through this period. They work. The last day, Heath is up to 1:30 in the morning trying to help you guys out, finish your month out. And Steph and Lisa is helping them. She works part-time doing that. She actually is in charge of buying the merchandise for the factory, but she also works in customer service. Everybody in our company does everything. It's the way it's got to be because we're not going to have a lot of people. All right. Our entire staff, including people working in the facility, is about 25 people. That includes me and Rick and everybody else. Because the more money I spend on our staff is the less money I can give you guys and spend on you guys. We work hard. We pay the people well, but they're all dedicated. They all treat our company like it's their own company, and that's the way you want it to be. So
This is exciting. Thanks. And onward and upward. The best is
yeah,
yet to come.
I look forward to seeing everybody come next week. And if you haven't made your plans, start driving now and get out here. Come on. It's gonna be fun. And by the way, we have really good air conditioning in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, I would say one of the things I always tell people is you'll be glad you came, but at the same time, you'll be looking around and think, oh my goodness, I wish I would have tried harder to bring some other people. And you'll be thinking maybe some people to their name. Oh boy, if Mary was here, she would be so excited. Just, yeah, that's the most productive thing you can do is get to events and get people to events.
That's true because we have one person who's bringing 21 people. She just joined a little while ago and she's bringing 21 people. She will be a diamond at the next one from that. So,
That's a pretty accurate prediction. The best way to predict the future is create.
yep. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I usually am playing tennis on Saturday mornings, but you got me off the court.
All right. Thanks for the sacrifice.
Have a good one.